Let's just talk about this. Can you tell me how you got this case?
He called. No, I've known Paul over the years. He is a good man. He is an amazing attorney, very skilled, and I'm fortunate that he trusts me enough to lead him through this.
And so, what can you tell me? I mean, he's a dad too, outside of work. Can you tell me a little bit about his family?
The Paul Robinson I know he's the guy, as busy as he is, with all the big cases he handles, he would always find time to be with his family, take his kids out. We'd run into each other either on the golf course or at the pool, and he'd be the guy there playing with his kids with his wife in the pool. So he is a very devoted father and family man.
And he has 3 sons. That's what I read.
Yes, he's I mean, he has a good family. Absolutely.
Well, I think the viewers are curious. Just how is he doing now? I mean, here's this high-profile Pittsburgh attorney in the worldwide news and facing serious allegations.
The rub is that this whole thing played out over 2 years ago, when he got that call from his son to come pick him up because of what happened.
In 2024.
Yes. And it's unfortunate that over 2 years later, Paul has found himself as someone who's in criminal legal trouble based on, the allegations against him, which we plan on defending, obviously.
It's alleged that he had a safe and that there are drugs and money, and he did this to help his son. What do you want to say, or what can you say about that?
Well, to be very honest, I don't know what the evidence is. We have a preliminary hearing coming up on September 2nd that we intend on pursuing. At that time, I will know who and what and the whens and the wheres. But the allegations are that, you read it. Paul picked up a safe or something like that from Penn State, and the government is alleging he did that to destroy or tamper with evidence. Unfortunately, that's as much as I know. I don't know how the government's going to know what's in the safe. That's going to be curious. But again, knowing the Paul I know, knowing any father who would attempt to help their family is one thing. But I struggle to see Paul doing something so reckless. So if there is some version of the story that isn't so criminal, that's probably the story that's going to come out at some point as we defend this.
Do you think that he had any inkling about any of this?
No, there's not a chance Paul Robinson would have involved himself in this massive drug ring stemming from New York. There's no chance that if Paul Robinson knew that his son or anybody his son was associated with was this deep in something this large, that Paul would not have put an end to it.
So in terms of the Venmo and having this money come in, I mean, I don't know what type of lifestyle his son.
Well, that wasn't Paul Robinson's Venmo.
No, I know. This is a total shock to.
His son's an adult in college. I have college kids. They have their own Venmo accounts. I don't monitor them. Who monitors their adult child's Venmo account? So, I think if people are suggesting that somehow Paul Robinson knew what his son was doing and knew that this big...
Allegedly doing.
Yeah, allegedly doing, or allegedly the cocaine ring that was taking place at Penn State, and they think Paul Robinson was wrapped up, then they are not only sadly mistaken, but they just that's a reckless thought. It's irresponsible to even say that.
And you will be going where? Just so that I have that information accurate. You and Paul will be facing a magistrate locally?
Central Court in Center County, Penn State. That's where the charges originated. That's where these charges will be played out.
And the Attorney General's attorney will be there.
Yes.
What can you give me any insight about what will happen at that event?
Sure. I mean, I spoke to the prosecutor today. Very nice person. They will put on witnesses to substantiate the evidence. The preliminary hearings are such a low threshold. You could get charges held for court on a monkey. So basically, the idea at a preliminary hearing is just to understand the genesis of the charges and the evidence from 10,000 feet in the air.
Now, will all of those defendants be there? Your client, and then his son, and then the other students?
I don't know the answer to that
Okay.
because, again, Paul Robbins is not involved in the corrupt organization, also known as RICO. It's a state corrupt organization. He's not involved in that chapter. The allegations on him are separate and apart and away from anything to do with what was taking place at Penn State.
So your client is accused of tampering. Can you just?
He's accused of hindering the investigation, obstruction, justice, and tampering with evidence, all based on the allegation that whatever he allegedly took from Penn State, I guess they're alleging had something in there that is relevant to their case. And again, I know as much as you do. You may even know more than me at this point.
So you don't know where that safe is, I guess. No one does.
I don't know if there was a safe. So we're going to find out on September 2nd through live witnesses as to what some of their evidence is.
Can you talk about there's a lot of lawyers talking about this just because of the lawyer, and are you getting a lot of calls from colleagues and just people in town and just...
You know, on a lot of levels, on a human level, I feel bad for Paul because a guy with a reputation like that, who's a shark in the court, it's embarrassing, right? It was bad enough that his family had to go through watching his son be arrested 2 years ago, and the consequences of that. They just started pulling their lives together and working through that, and then bam, this happens. So, you know, is it unfair? I don't know, but, you know, he's strong, his family's strong, they're holding up, you know, and he has a ton of support. So, you know, it's good.
Would they bring those charges? I know it was a grand jury, but if they didn't have the evidence about the safe,
Well,
how?
one thing about grand juries is the government puts forth their version of evidence to people in secrecy. There's no cross-examination. There's no credibility issues. So literally, you could indict a flower pot if you wanted to. So we intend on challenging their evidence, and we're gonna see where this takes us. Obviously, my concern, Paul's concern, is the goal is to make sure Paul can continue to be the amazing lawyer he is. And
Yeah,
continue
and if people are wondering about that with the Ethics Commission, what is there anything you can say about that? I mean, he's still practicing law. There's no blemish. There's no.
Well,
he still is employed with the same firm.
and he's still innocent until proven guilty, contrary to certain people in this world. So he is innocent, and until that presumption of innocence goes away, he will continue to practice law.
Is there anything else that you want the public to know about your client?
Well, it's easy to judge. It's easy to judge people. It's easy to hear a story, and then when that story's retold, you add your own little facts. And I think that's what's happening out there. This story has now national. The traction is I've never seen before, and you know, people just need to just step back and let this play out.
Attorney DeRiso, based on what you know and what you can say, do you believe, from what you've heard, that your client can beat these charges?
You know, I can't answer that. Again, things will play out, and my concern, again, it's not whether he did or did not do what he's accused of. It's my concern is, will I be able to help Paul continue to provide for his family and maintain his employment? And fortunately, there are paths for that to happen. We're just not there yet. So,
And these, hypothetically, for people who don't know the law, I mean, what if someone's found guilty? I mean, he doesn't have a criminal record, but obviously, I mean, what kind of, how serious are these charges?
it's a felony. The one's a felony. A couple of misdemeanors. I mean, they're serious. You get convicted of these, you don't own guns. You lose certain rights. You lose jobs.
Your law license.
You lose licenses. So, this is not I'm going to jail type. Most of these offenses aren't. I'm going to jail. These offenses are. They have much more catastrophic consequences other than being incarcerated. In particular, again, with a guy like Paul who's lived a pretty exemplary life, it's just unfortunate what his family's going through.